Representative Malolo, you have a bill that deals with a lot of the same material. That's 5258. Do you want to testify on that, and we'll hear them together?
Sure, I'd appreciate that. Thank you. My legislation is type specific to a location and the public safety concerns with the location. It doesn't talk in terms of any cities or towns and their roads. I was specific about highways, and the concern of that is the area of highways, the speed difference, miles per hour, is a lot faster than cities and towns on one issue. And then secondarily, I didn't want to dictate what cities and towns, as the representative before me said, cities and towns are addressing their own roads with their own ordinances, and this legislation is specific to public safety, as I stated at the beginning. It's addressing a location that's tremendously unsafe for folks to be standing in. It doesn't say if there is a median in the middle of the road and there are sidewalks on either side. We're saying the area in the middle is tremendously unsafe for you to be there, and the liabilities to the driver and the potential injury to you as a pedestrian is the acknowledgement of this legislation. We're looking at pedestrian safety and we're looking at the driver's safety, and we're keeping both of those in mind. In doing so, when I said the state highways and roads, I'm personally not going to determine a blanket statement of saying all medians on state roads are going to be seen as unlawful. What we want to do is we want to let the DOT director determine per statistics that he'll be getting from the director of cities and towns the information about accidents and injuries that are near those medians or the strong potential of injury. In doing so, the director will determine if that area is unlawful for the individual to be on. So there might be some state highway roads that have medians that folks might be able to stand on per the director of DOT. That determination will be determined per statistics, per accident studies that transpired, and signage will be put in the locations where it's unlawful for you to stand because it's a safety concern. It doesn't address any acts that are there, aside from the fact that the terminology would be loitering, is the fact that you're present in an area that you shouldn't be in and it's unsafe. So if folks, as I said before, if we're looking at a road and there's a median in the middle of it and there are sidewalks on either side, we're saying that it is, and I believe, Rep, that you did mention about the sidewalks. If someone's on the sidewalk, that's clearly fine. We're talking and addressing the middle of a road, and the rep before me stated, it's dangerous. I mean, it's physically dangerous for any individual to be there. So that's the statement I put forward in my testimony for the legislation for median safety.
Any questions for the sponsors?
Statement, sir.
Yes, Representative Cookie.
Is that, I think that if the director of the Department of Transportation is going to designate the median strips unsafe, it has to be marked
With the signage.
with the signage.
Correct. And in doing so, it would make individuals aware that that location is unlawful. So without the signage there, folks can be standing there and not know. You can't be penalized for something that you have no knowledge of, in all fairness. And these areas, and I tried to be very specific of saying, if it's not a traditional area or a public forum, a meeting area, that's going to be the first determination if the location is appropriate or not. And then, of course, the statistics of accidents and such through the cities and towns will be able to dictate if an area is appropriate or not. Because safety is always a concern, and we want the pedestrians and drivers to be traveling and not be concerned with the safety or potential of serious injury.
Thank you. Any other questions for the sponsor of this bill? Thank you, Representative Malolo.